The NHS has recently commented on the winter fuel payment debacle, and apparently they've said that will cost them another nearly 200 million a year to deal with little old ladies being wheeled in with hypothermia,
all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it'll have a knock-on effect.
Yeah,
of course it will.
So this idea that they're saving this 1.5 billion, it's now looking they might be saving, if they're lucky, $1 billion, if that, and God knows what else, how it may be depleted. So the logic, the rationale.
But also, if they die earlier, that's less pensions being paid out. So they'll be claiming back some money from there as well.
They are bastards, aren't they?
I think Labour, if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, have actually got a project at the moment to kill as many old people as possible. And I'll explain why. First of all, into winter fuel allowance. Let's kill the poorest ones. The poorest ones take most resources, as in council services, adult services, take the pension, stuff like that, and because the pensioners, they're giving nothing back anymore now. They use the NHS a lot more. They're more likely to vote Conservative and Brexit and stuff like that. So if we can diminish those numbers, not only are we saving money, we're getting rid of the people who vote against us. This looks like a plan.
So just pursuing that theme, what else? Because I think there are other things as well that I'll express to you. What else are they doing?
Other things are coming down the pipeline. They're talking
and this
now,
is specifically relating to
old people. So now they're talking about getting rid of the single person discount in council tax, which is 25% at the moment. So all people who live in singly, but old people are going to have to find an extra 25%. The pensions aren't going to go up 25% to cover it. They're going to have to find that. And I would imagine there's other things coming down the pipeline as well.
Yeah, well, the things I'm aware of is the increasing of the pension age. Now,
yeah.
Whilst that ostensibly doesn't get rid of old people, it stops them being pensioners and taking state benefits for a lot of time. So, interestingly, my brother who came over from Holland, I said to him, he's 66, and I said, I thought you were going to retire. You and your wife were going to retire. And he said, I can't, because they've increased the pension age for both men and women in Holland to 67.
Yeah, same as here, 67.
So, yeah. Well, I didn't know that, have they increased women to 67 as well? But when
men and women are now equal.
Yeah, when we were young, women retired at 60. Men retired at 65.
Yeah.
But they're making us now work for another...
But the feminists didn't like that, and the feminists fought for decades and decades and decades, and finally got women to retire the same age as men. And then they went, oh shit.
So yeah, well done feminists.
I spoke to a feminist about that once, and she said, yeah, I was fighting for that equality, but I thought they would reduce the male retirement age down to 60. And I went, you're an idiot.
That is likely to happen, isn't it? So yeah, so they're pushing the pension age up, so they're not paying little old ladies.
That's because we live longer and we're healthier.
Yeah, it's the same effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pushing, so that's reducing the cost there. They're getting rid of the fuel allowance. They're getting rid of the single person's discount. They're going to get rid of the bus pass.
I've heard that, yeah.
But the more chilling side of this, the other side, because I to me it's like a harmonica. They're pushing a harmonica shut on little old ladies. And the other side of that is euthanasia, isn't it?
Yes.
That's now suddenly acceptable. The mainstream media are happy to talk about it, how it helps the planet, and, little old people who don't want to be... And they're now brainwashing little old people into thinking, I better kill myself because it's better for the planet and better for the environment and better for the economy, because the economy's in a mess. So I'll kill myself so I won't be a drain on the economy. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that in the press recently.
So every year, I believe, they pick one MP in Parliament to be able to put forward a law without it be going through all the channels and stuff like that. It gets voted on and stuff like that. And they've picked the MP, and she's picked this topic to go to Parliament with.
Really?
So euthanasia. So it's not like, so this is now going to be debated in Parliament, and
they get like a free pass to debate what they want to.
Yeah. So this looks like This isn't like a fringe idea. This is now is definitely going to Parliament. Yes.
Who's the MP who's proposing it?
It's the one who replaced her dead sister who was killed during Brexit by that crazy guy shot her, I think.
I don't know. I mean,
Kim,
I know.
Kim Ledenbeater or something like that.
Is she Labour or?
Labour.
Right.
She represents the school, the area where that school is, where the teacher had to go into hiding and is still hiding now.
Great.
And she's never mentioned it.
I was going to say, why don't you deal with that?
Yeah, she's never mentioned it.
Is that Buckley, is it?
Buckley Grammar School, yeah. So, yes, so euthanasia, how it's being addressed at the moment is it's for terminally ill people. So you're dying of cancer, doctors said it's terminal, you're in so much pain, we can drug you up, we're now going to look at a way of you to end your life. Most people will go, well, that seems fair. And there may be a discussion to have about that. But let me tell you what will happen. None of our public services work in this country. None of them are competent. Just look at everything they provide. Nothing works. We can't even close our borders. And we're going to give the state the power to have people basically commit suicide. That is open to so much abuse. Coercive control, saying to your dying old little mummy, do you know what? I need some extra money. And she could hang on another 8 months, another 2 years. Convince her that her grandchildren are going to go without if you stay that much longer. The mentally ill, the manic depressives. And at the moment they're saying it won't cover any of that. Yeah, it won't today.
It won't. Yeah,
but tomorrow,
yeah,
when you get amendments to the law and other people then start campaigning for it. Good example would be, do you remember the French terrorist attack? Was it the Bataclan nightclub?
Yes.
Machine guns and stuff like that.
Was it Balakat? I can't remember what it was. Yeah,
it was something like that. Yeah. At that time, there was a woman, a very young woman there, saw her friends killed.
Yes.
She's from Belgium.
You and I have discussed this.
Yeah, we have.
It's an interesting story. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, so her friends died. She becomes a manic depressive. What she's seen. She ends up ending her own life by going to a euthanasia clinic. So the people who shot up that nightclub and all that, most of them survived. They're in jail.
Yeah, they were Islamic jihadists.
One of the survivors, we allowed her to kill herself because of that.
Yeah.
This isn't the world I want to live in.
Yeah, it's not a world I want to live in either.
Yeah.
That story, and I can't remember the girl's name.
Yeah.
She had quite an unusual name. She was 21 when she died. 21-year-old, a young girl. And it was endorsed by the state and endorsed by her parents as well. You know, it wasn't like, why don't you just let's give her a bit longer to try. Because she said she wanted to die, and you're right. That's not a world I want to live in.
No.
That's a horrific thing. Have
you seen what's been going on in Canada with theirs?
Well, I'm aware of it, but I don't know the detail. Go on.
They've been killing all sorts of people in Canada. Old people, homeless people have been signing up, and drug users ending their own lives on this.
Yeah.
It's wide open to abuse by a state that has a track record of running everything poorly.
Yeah.
Look at the postmaster scandal.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people sent to jail and covered up, and we're going to give them a power of life and death on sick people.
You're right. Apart from the fact in my view, it's morally reprehensible to do this. We're asking a state that can't control anything to manage and control and stop that from being abused, more importantly.
I think if you want to end your life, I think you should end your life. Yeah. You shouldn't involve anybody else. Yeah. There's lots of ways for you to end your life.
I know how I'm going to do mine. I'm going to drive to Wales. Yeah. I'll be old by then, of course.
Yeah.
I'll be your age. I'll drive to Wales, and I'll have a small pair of swimming trunks on.
Yeah.
And I'll just walk into the sea and start swimming.
Yeah.
And I'll keep swimming. And I'll keep swimming until I'm absolutely exhausted. Yeah. And then I can't come back, basically.
Yeah.
So even if I try and come back, I'll be too knackered and old to swim back, and I'll drown.
Knowing your luck, when you do that, there'll be a migrant boat coming over from Ireland who pick you up and take you across. They all win medals for saving you, and you're there going, back to square bloody one.
No, they'll drag me semi-conscious onto the shore and say, this one hasn't got a passport either.
And then you get a hotel.
So that would be hilarious. But I think going back to the point, the euthanasia thing, for me, is just this final tool to destroy the old people in this country. And I think it's interesting, you and I talked about this a few weeks ago. One of the videos you put out had a lot of views, over 100,000 views. But there was an article in the Telegraph the other week saying exactly what we were talking about. That they've got it, this government have got it in for old people, basically. So I think it's...
When, you know, lots of old people have got expensive houses now because they bought them decades ago. House prices have shot up, and they've got houses now worth $500,000, a couple of million. And it's not that much of a jump to understand that some of their children will be nasty pieces of work. And they're going, I could get my hands on £1.5 million once he's dead or she's dead. That doesn't take much persuasion for an old person who's beginning to lose it and stuff like that. It's just the optics of this. And again, like old communists and like old tyrants, they're selling this on the belief that we're doing it to help you. We're doing it so you don't feel pain, you know, at the end of your life. We're doing it for you. Just like abortion. We're murdering you
for you. Yeah, we're murdering children for you.
Yes. Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers. I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.